The valley of Elah stretches wide, a stage set for impending conflict. Upon opposing hills, the Israelite and Philistine armies stand poised, a visual testament to brewing war. A palpable tension blankets the valley, thick and heavy as the morning mist. The air is still, save for the distant cries of birds, an eerie calm before the storm. Shields glint under the sun, reflecting the nervous anticipation of thousands. The fate of nations hangs in the balance, etched in the silent standoff between two formidable forces. Under the harsh sun, Israelite soldiers gather in tight knots, their faces mirroring a shared dread. Anxiety hangs heavy in the air as they huddle, their whispers a desperate attempt to find solace. Each face is a canvas of fear, reflecting the looming threat that silences their bravado. Their eyes dart nervously, searching for reassurance in the faces of their comrades, finding none. The camp, usually bustling with activity, is now subdued, the silence broken only by their hushed, fearful tones. A palpable sense of foreboding settles over the Israelite camp, anticipation building as they brace for the unknown. Under the harsh daylight, the Philistine camp sprawls, a tapestry of tents and boasting soldiers. A distant view captures the swaggering Philistine army, their confidence echoing across the plains. Boisterous laughter and clanging metal fill the air, the Philistines reveling in their perceived strength. Banners flutter arrogantly, displaying the Philistine symbols of power and dominion. Warriors sharpen their blades, their faces grim with anticipation of the coming battle. The very ground seems to vibrate with the energy of the assembled Philistine forces. A storm about to break. Under the vast sky of the valley of Elah, a shadow falls as Goliath, a giant among men, enters the scene. His massive figure dominates the landscape, an emblem of daunting power. Sunlight glints off his formidable armor, turning him into a beacon of invincibility. Silence descends as he pauses, his presence casting a pall over the valley. Across the valley of Elah, two armies stand poised, the sun glinting off their armor, a silent challenge hanging in the air. A colossal figure emerges from the Philistine ranks. Goliath, his bronze armor reflecting the harsh sunlight like a second Sunday. Goliath's shadow stretches across the valley, an imposing figure of unmatched size and menace. His voice, a thunderous roar, shatters the tense silence as he strides forward, challenging the Israelites with brutal arrogance. "I defy the armies of Israel this day," Goliath bellows, his words echoing off the valley walls. Goliath's eyes blaze with contempt as he demands, "Give me a man, that we may fight together." Under the scorching sun, the Israelite camp is thrown into chaos as Goliath's challenge pierces the air. Faces twist in terror, the crowd recoiling from the giant's earth-shaking taunts. Goliath's booming voice reverberates across the battlefield, each word a hammer blow to Israelite resolve. King Saul stands as a figure of grim despair, his face a mask of defeat under the weight of impending doom. The air hangs heavy with dread, the Israelites paralyzed by the shadow of the towering warrior. Under the vast sky, a lone figure appears on the road to Elah. David, a young shepherd, walks with a cheerful gait, his innocence lighting up the dusty path. He carries a sack of provisions, its contents a simple offering for the journey ahead. The sun shines on his youthful face, highlighting his untroubled spirit. Each step he takes is filled with a naive optimism. The road stretches before him, an open invitation to destiny. In the valley of Elah, David arrives at the Israelite camp, his eyes scanning the landscape. He spots his brothers amidst the soldiers, a beacon of familiarity in the war-torn valley. A wide, genuine smile begins to spread across David's face as he approaches, eager to greet them. His voice rings out with youthful enthusiasm, breaking the tension of the camp. "Brothers, it's good to see you," David exclaims, his arrival a momentary reprieve. At the border of the Israelite camp, David halts, the taunting echoes of Goliath's challenge reverberating in the air. Every word of the giant's challenge is a tightening knot in David's gut, his young face hardening with resolve. His fists clench, knuckles white against the sun, as anger flashes in his eyes. David stands firm, a solitary figure fueled by righteous indignation, against the backdrop of the fearful Israelite camp. The weight of Goliath's challenge settles upon David, forging a steely determination in his youthful gaze. Against the vast expanse of the field, the camera finds David, a young shepherd radiating unwavering conviction. His small frame stands in stark contrast to the looming might of the Philistine army arrayed before him. A defiant glint sparks in his eyes as he prepares to confront the seemingly insurmountable odds. His voice, clear and strong, cuts through the tense silence, challenging the enemy. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? He proclaims with righteous anger. Under the relentless sun, dust devils swirl across the desolate Israelite camp. David, youthful and wiry, strides towards a cluster of soldiers, their faces burdened with anxiety and exhaustion. His voice rings with curiosity and courage. "Tell me about this Goliath. What manner of man is he?" A soldier's grim reply pierces the air. "Man? He's more monster than man. A giant, taller than any you've ever seen." Another soldier chimes in. "His armor alone weighs more than 3 grown men. And his spear, it's like a weaver's beam." Beneath the vast sky, an encampment stretches across the valley, a sea of tents under the harsh Sunday. Amidst the seasoned warriors, young David stands, his voice ringing with defiance. "I will fight Goliath." Doubt ripples through the ranks of the Israelite soldiers, their faces etched with disbelief. "You? A boy like you?" One soldier scoffs, his voice laced with derision. Another soldier adds, "He's barely old enough to shave." A third soldier mocks, "Look at him. He probably still plays with sheep." Before Saul's tent, under the harsh daylight, David stands firm, awaiting judgment. King Saul observes David, his face etched with doubt. The desert wind whips around them, carrying whispers of uncertainty. Saul's eyes narrow, a storm of skepticism brewing within. David remains unyielding, the weight of destiny hanging heavy in the air. An intense moment hangs heavy, unspoken tensions filling the undefined space. Saul's voice breaks the silence, laced with warning and concern. "You are but a youth," he begins, his words painting a stark contrast. "And he a man of war, from his youth," Saul concludes, emphasizing the insurmountable challenge ahead. Golden sunlight floods the entrance to Saul's tent, casting long shadows that dance with the morning breeze. David stands silhouetted against the light, a youthful shepherd with a presence that belies his age. His voice, clear and strong, cuts through the stillness of the camp as he begins to recount his past. He speaks of his father's sheep, his words painting a vivid picture of bravery and unwavering resolve. Each word resonates with the quiet confidence of a protector, a guardian against unseen dangers. The sun catches the determined glint in his eyes, reflecting a spirit ready to face any challenge. In a vast, undefined space, David stands, a small figure radiating resolve. He confronts a looming, ominous presence, his stance firm despite the disparity in size. His eyes shine with an unwavering faith, a beacon in the stark surroundings. David's voice rings out, clear and strong. "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." The echo of his defiant declaration hangs in the air, challenging the darkness. Under the harsh daylight, Saul gazes at David, a mixture of awe and disbelief etched on his face as he witnesses the young man's unwavering faith. A heavy sigh escapes Saul's lips, the weight of the impending battle pressing down on him as he contemplates the audacity of David's challenge. Hesitation flickers across Saul's features, a silent battle raging within him as he wrestles with doubt and hope. With a reluctant nod, Saul finally relents, his decision hanging in the air as he agrees to let David confront the towering Goliath. Under the open sky, Saul presents David with his heavy armor, a gleaming sword, and a sturdy shield. David accepts the weighty gifts, his expression a mix of determination and apprehension. He struggles to don the armor, the unfamiliar weight pressing down on him. Taking a few awkward steps, David's brow furrows, realizing the burden he now carries. In an unknown location, a palpable tension fills the air. David stands resolute, his gaze scrutinizing the items laid out before him. His eyes narrow, a deep contemplation etched on his face as he assesses each object. A moment of hesitation flickers across his features, a subtle unease gripping him. He pauses, grappling with the gravity of his decision. "I cannot go with these, for I have not tested them," David declares, his voice firm despite the uncertainty. David approaches a stream, the sunlight glinting off the water's surface. He kneels by the bank, his gaze intent on the smooth stones scattered along the edge. His fingers trace the surface of each stone, a careful selection process unfolding. He holds up one stone, examining it closely against the light. 5 chosen stones now rest beside him, each holding a silent promise. In the valley of Elah, a vast expanse stretches under the sunday. David, the shepherd, approaches his staff, a humble contrast to the looming threat. He carries his sling, a simple weapon against an impossible foe. Goliath, a giant of a man, gazes down upon the boy with unconcealed disdain. His eyes blaze with contempt, mocking the audacity of the challenge. The valley holds its breath, awaiting the clash of courage against might. On the battlefield, 2 armies stand poised, the air thick with anticipation and dread. Goliath, a towering giant of a man, stands defiant, his shadow casting a pall over the field. Before him, a figure of stark contrast. David, small but resolute, faces the behemoth. Goliath's booming voice shatters the tense silence. "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" David's eyes reflect unwavering courage, a silent promise of the battle to come. Goliath, a titan among men, casts a long, ominous shadow across the ravaged battlefield. His massive form dominates the scene, a symbol of impending doom. Muscles tense, eyes blazing with fury, he prepares to unleash his might. His voice, a thunderous roar, echoes across the desolate landscape, chilling the hearts of all who hear it. "Come to me," he bellows, his words laced with malice and a promise of brutal violence. "And I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." In the valley of Elah, David stands, a solitary figure against the vast landscape, his eyes fixed on the looming giant. The wind whispers through the valley, gently tousling his hair, yet his stance remains firm, unyielding. A quiet intensity radiates from him, a beacon of courage against the backdrop of impending conflict. His voice, though calm, carries the weight of conviction across the field. "With God as my shield, I shall not falter." David's gaze pierces through the air, unwavering, a testament to his faith and resolve in the face of insurmountable odds. Dust hangs heavy over the battlefield as 2 armies stand poised for war, the air thick with anticipation. Before the imposing ranks, David, a young shepherd, faces Goliath, a giant warrior encased in formidable armor. David stands defiant, armed only with a simple sling and a handful of stones, a stark contrast to Goliath's battle-ready stance. His voice rings out across the field, challenging the giant's might. "You come to me with a sword and with a spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." The air crackles with tension in the unknown location, every shadow seeming to hold a threat. David stands, a solitary figure against the encroaching darkness, his posture radiating defiance. His eyes, burning with unwavering resolve, lock on to his unseen adversary. His voice, clear and strong, cuts through the oppressive silence, a declaration of war. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head," David proclaims, his words echoing with the weight of destiny. In the valley of Elah, under the vast sky, David prepares for battle. With focused determination, David selects a smooth stone, readying his sling. The sling whistles through the air as he practices, a blur of motion showcasing years of skill. Each rotation of the sling builds tension, a promise of the force and precision to come. In the valley of Elah, the sun beats down, casting long shadows across the battlefield. David stands poised, sling in hand, a figure of determination against the vast landscape. The stone is released, a blur of motion as it hurtles towards its target. All eyes follow the stone's flight, a moment of breathless anticipation hanging in the air. The fate of the valley hangs in the balance, riding on the path of this single projectile. In the valley of Elah, the stone hurtles through the air, a small missile against the giant. The projectile finds its mark, striking Goliath squarely between the eyes with lethal precision. A visible impact shakes the giant, his immense frame momentarily faltering. Goliath's eyes widen in disbelief, a flicker of shock and pain registering before the inevitable. The earth trembles slightly as the giant staggers, his invincibility shattered in an instant. A moment of stunned silence hangs in the air, the battlefield holding its breath in anticipation. Goliath, the giant, crashes to the earth in the valley of Elah. His immense armor clatters against the ancient stones, the sound echoing through the valley. The ground trembles violently, the impact of his fall shaking the very foundations of the land. Dust and debris billow around the fallen giant, a testament to the sheer force of his defeat. In the valley of Elah, a collective gasp of shock ripples through the Philistine army. Disbelief contorts faces, the initial bravado swiftly replaced by stark terror. The once formidable ranks begin to fracture, an unstoppable wave of panic washing over them. Fear takes hold as soldiers turn, their disciplined formation collapsing into a chaotic scramble. The valley floor becomes a scene of utter disarray, scattered shields and discarded weapons marking their hasty retreat. The proud banners of the Philistines falter, mirroring the disintegration of their once imposing army. In the valley of Elah, David sprints toward Goliath, his youthful energy a stark contrast to the giant's looming shadow. Dust billows as his feet pound against the parched earth, the sound echoing in the tense silence of the battlefield. He seizes Goliath's massive sword, the steel gleaming ominously under the harsh sunlight. Muscles straining, David raises the colossal sword high above his head, a silhouette against the clear sky. With a final, decisive act, he brings the blade down, severing Goliath's head in a single, brutal stroke. In the valley of Elah, David raises Goliath's severed head high, a stark symbol against the vast landscape. A stunned silence hangs in the air for a fleeting moment, the impossible victory sinking in. Then, a thunderous cheer erupts from the Israelite army, their voices echoing through the valley. The soldiers surge forward, their faces alight with jubilation and disbelief at the sight before them. David stands firm, the weight of the giant's head a testament to his courage and faith. Across the sun-drenched valley of Elah, the Israelite army erupts forward, a groundswell of righteous fury. They surge across the valley floor, a unified tide of soldiers in pursuit. The momentum of their charge carries them onward, a relentless wave. Dust billows beneath their feet as they chase the fleeing Philistines. The open valley becomes a stage for the unfolding drama of pursuit and potential victory. Under the blazing sun, the Israelite camp bursts with jubilant life, a sea of tents stretching to the horizon. Men, women, and children dance with unrestrained joy, their faces radiant with newfound hope and freedom. Banners of liberation flutter in the desert wind, a vibrant testament to their miraculous deliverance. The air vibrates with heartfelt praise and laughter, a symphony of gratitude ascending to the heavens. Beneath the blazing sun, David stands tall before Saul's tent, his figure casting a long, imposing shadow. Saul's gaze pierces through David, his eyes reflecting a complex blend of curiosity and burgeoning respect. The harsh sunlight glints off the tent flaps, adding to the tension of the silent exchange. An unspoken challenge hangs in the air as the two figures remain locked in their intense stare. The valley of Elah bursts into life, teeming with the celebrating Israelite army. Sunlight glints off armor and jubilant faces, a sea of warriors united in victory. Banners wave triumphantly against the clear sky, proclaiming the end of battle. The air vibrates with the sounds of cheers and the beating of drums, a symphony of relief and pride. Dust rises from the earth as soldiers dance and celebrate, their movements a chaotic ballet of joy. The valley, once a battlefield, now echoes with the unbridled elation of a nation. Inside Saul's tent, torchlight flickers wildly, painting the canvas walls with dancing shadows. The air hangs heavy with a mingled sense of leather and wood smoke, a palpable tension filling the space. Saul, enthroned on piled cushions, fixes David with an intense, probing gaze. David stands before him, composed yet wary, as Saul's voice cuts through the silence. "Tell me about your family, David. Your father, your brothers." Under the bright, open sky, the Israelite camp pulses with joyous energy. Women gather, their voices rising in song, celebrating a hard-won victory. A dance begins, a swirling tapestry of color and movement expressing gratitude and triumph. Each step and note honors David, the hero of the hour. The very air vibrates with the collective elation of a people rejoicing in their freedom. Under the vast sky of the Israelite camp, Saul observes the crowd's adulation of David. A flicker of jealousy crosses Saul's face, casting a shadow over his royal features. His fist clenches, a subtle gesture betraying the storm of envy brewing within him. In Saul's eyes, schemes begin to form, a web of deceit spun against the celebrated hero. In the grand hall of Saul's palace, tension fills the air as Saul raises his spear, the polished metal glinting menacingly. Saul's eyes blaze with a murderous intent, the spear aimed directly at David's heart. With a sudden, desperate thrust, Saul lunges forward, the spear a blur of deadly motion. Anticipating the attack, David's reflexes kick in. His body moves with instinctive agility. David narrowly avoids the deadly spear, the weapon whistling past where he stood moments before. A palpable sense of danger hangs heavy in the air as Saul's failed attempt leaves both men frozen in place. Under the watchful eyes of flickering torches, the Israelite camp slumbers, unaware of the drama unfolding in the night. David, hardened beyond his years, moves like a shadow, his steps measured and silent. He casts a sorrowful glance back at the sleeping forms, a silent farewell etched on his young face. Determination hardens his gaze, a resolve to face whatever darkness lies ahead. The torchlight dances, casting elongated shadows that seem to reach out like grasping hands. As he pulls away, he disappears into the inky wilderness, swallowed by the night, leaving behind all that he knows. Beneath the expansive wilderness sky, David stands as a solitary figure, radiating quiet strength. A growing assembly of followers gathers, their eyes fixed on David, their beacon of hope. He is their leader, a symbol of rebellion amidst the desolation. David's presence commands the landscape, promising change and defiance to those who seek refuge. In the shadowed mouth of a cave, David and his men find meager concealment from the relentless Sunday. The narrow entrance offers scant protection as the sounds of pursuit echo, growing louder with each breath. In the distance, Saul and his army relentlessly close in, their determination a palpable threat. The harsh sunlight casts long, ominous shadows, amplifying the tension as the hunt intensifies. In the dim mouth of the cave, Saul enters, his figure silhouetted against the light. Lost in thought, he seeks a moment of privacy, unaware of the watchful eyes hidden deeper within the shadows. His preoccupied demeanor renders him blind to the subtle movements in the darkness. Unseen, David and his men lurk, their presence masked by the cave's embrace. The tension hangs heavy in the air, a silent standoff between the oblivious king and his hidden adversaries. Sunlight pierces the cave mouth, illuminating dancing, dust, motes, and the tense anticipation hanging in the air. David stands silhouetted, his face a mask of inner turmoil as he faces his destiny. His hardened men gather around, their eyes gleaming with a mixture of loyalty and bloodlust. The men urge David forward, their voices a chorus of anticipation. "This is it, David. The moment we've been waiting for." The men proclaim, their voices rising, "God has delivered him into your hands. End this war. End Saul." Sunlight floods the cave entrance, illuminating the ancient stone. David stands poised, above Saul, the sleeping king vulnerable in the dim light. A drawn sword trembles in David's hand, reflecting the inner turmoil tearing him apart. He hesitates, the weight of the decision heavy on his shoulders. Sweat beads on David's forehead, a testament to the intense moral battle within. With a visible struggle, David slowly lowers the sword, defying the temptation before him. Sunlight filters through the mouth of the cave, casting long shadows as David stealthily approaches. Saul, deep in slumber, lies vulnerable, his robe spread around him. With cautious steps, David creeps closer, his eyes fixed on the sleeping king. In a swift, silent motion, David raises his knife, the blade glinting in the dim light. He cuts a corner from Saul's robe, a symbolic act of mercy and defiance. David retreats back into the shadows, leaving behind only the subtle evidence of his presence. On a windswept hilltop, David stands defiant, his hair tossed wildly by the fierce wind. His voice echoes across the valley as he cries out to Saul, the sound sharp against the vast landscape. He holds aloft a torn piece of Saul's robe, a symbol of defiance and a past encounter. The fabric flutters like a captured banner, its threads dancing the unforgiving breeze. The torn robe serves as a stark testament to the complex relationship between David and Saul, now exposed to the heavens. Sunlight streams down upon the hilltop, illuminating Saul as a change begins to stir within him. His hardened gaze softens, a flicker of understanding igniting in his eyes as he looks towards David. Lines of conflict and years of animosity begin to smooth, replaced by a dawning recognition. A wave of remorse washes over Saul, the first tide of regret etching itself onto his weathered face. The weight of his past actions seems to visibly burden him as the sun beats down. In the stark light of day, Saul's transformation begins, marked by the profound shift in his expression. Bathed in the golden light of day, Saul raises his hand high above David on the hilltop. The wind whispers through the tall grass, carrying ancient prophecies on the breeze. A solemn declaration hangs in the air. Saul proclaims, "You will become the next king of Israel." Destiny unfolds as the sun casts long shadows, marking the beginning of a new era. Under the relentless sun, David and his men trudge wearily across the parched Philistine landscape, their faces masks of desperation. Each step is measured, cautious, as they approach the border, their bodies cloaked in dust and deception. They feign animosity, their eyes scanning the horizon, seeking refuge in enemy territory. Their clothes, once symbols of allegiance, now betrayers of their true identities. The air shimmers with heat and tension, each breath a gamble in this desperate charade. They walk as enemies, hoping to find sanctuary in the heart of their foe's land. Before the imposing Philistine city, David stands, a figure cloaked in calculated deception. He faces Achish, the Philistine king, his smile a mask of feigned loyalty. Each word David speaks is a carefully constructed lie, designed to mislead and manipulate. Achish listens, his expression an inscrutable shield, as David spins his treacherous tale. David's eyes gleam with cunning as he weaves a web of deceit, ensnaring those around him. The weight of David's deception hangs heavy in the air, a dangerous game played under the Philistine Sunday. Under the harsh sun of the Philistine city, David leads his men through the arid landscape, each step measured and purposeful. Dust devils dance around them as they maneuver, their movements precise and deadly. David's sharp gaze assesses the scene, calculating every advantage. He reports to Achish, his voice smooth and convincing as he weaves a tale of destruction against Israelite villages. A deceptive facade hides his true intent, masking the raids against other tribes with a carefully crafted narrative. Dust hangs heavy over the vast battlefield, a silent prelude to war. The Philistine army stands as an ocean of bronze, their armor reflecting the pitiless Sunday. Banners snap and ripple, each gust of wind carrying the threat of violence. From his vantage point, Achish surveys the waiting army, his expression a mask of sharp anticipation. His gaze sweeps across the ranks, settling on the space where David is expected to stand. On the blood-soaked battlefield, David stands at a crossroads, his face etched with profound inner conflict. The deafening clash of steel and desperate cries of dying men form a harrowing backdrop to his agonizing choice. Sweat and grime streak his face, a visible testament to the fierce battle raging both around him and within his soul. His gaze flickers between the relentless advance of the Israelite army, their faces grim with purpose. In the distance, the looming figure of Achish stands as a stark reminder of David's impossible dilemma. Under the veil of night, the Philistine camp hums with unseen activity, tense like dark mouths against the dim horizon. David moves like a phantom through the shadows, his presence a whisper in the enemy's den. Each step is measured, each breath controlled, as he navigates the labyrinth of tents and sleeping forms. A flicker of determination hardens his gaze as he finalizes the daring plan to aid the Israelites. The fate of his people hangs in the balance, resting on his shoulders as he prepares to strike from the heart of darkness. The air crackles with anticipation, the silence pregnant with the promise of imminent battle. On the battlefield, the deafening clash of steel heralds, the brutal commencement of war. The Israelites, faces grim with desperation, find themselves forced back under the relentless Philistine assault. A cloud of dust rises from the trampled earth, obscuring the sun and painting the scene in shades of gray and despair. The metallic tang of blood hangs heavy in the air, mingling with the acrid scent of sweat and fear. Each swing of a sword, each desperate cry, echoes the impending doom as the battle intensifies. On the vast battlefield, David boldly directs his troops, their movements precise and purposeful. He strategically leads them away from the heart of the conflict, a calculated diversion taking shape. The men follow with unwavering loyalty, their trust evident in every stride. Their feigned assault gains momentum, drawing attention away from the true objective. Dust and determination swirl around them as they execute David's cunning plan. On the smoky battlefield, Achish squints, his gaze piercing through the haze towards David. Doubt gnaws at Achish, an insidious serpent twisting in his gut as he struggles with suspicion. He searches David's face, desperate for a flicker of betrayal, a hint of deception. David's expression remains a stoic mask, revealing nothing, deepening Achish's torment. The cries of the wounded and the clash of steel create a discordant symphony, amplifying Achish's inner turmoil. Unable to confirm his treachery, Achish remains trapped in uncertainty. The battlefield, a stage for his private war. The battlefield stretches, a tapestry of victory and ruin under the harsh daylight. Israelites stand amidst the carnage, their faces etched with the grim reality of their triumph. Saul, the mighty king, is fallen, his armor bearing the marks of a brutal struggle. Mortally wounded, he lies defeated, a stark symbol of the battle's heavy toll. On the desolate battlefield, a lone messenger emerges, his face a canvas of dirt and exhaustion. The silence of the aftermath is broken by his hurried approach, each step heavy with grim tidings. He carries the weight of Saul's death, a burden etched deeply into his weary features. David watches as the messenger nears, an unspoken dread hanging heavy in the air. The news threatens to shatter the fragile peace, its impact rippling through the war-torn land. On the blood-soaked battlefield, David kneels, his face a canvas of tears and dirt, a stark portrait of despair. Around him, the fallen bear silent testimony to the brutal carnage of war. He lifts his gaze to the heavens, his eyes reflecting a storm of grief as fierce as the wind that sweeps across the desolate field. A lament begins to form on his lips, a sorrowful murmur lost in the whistling wind. A requiem for the lost. In Hebron, David's face is a mask of grim determination as he returns to his homeland, Israel. He stands tall, his silhouette a beacon of hope against the ancient landscape. The tribe of Judah gathers around him, their faces reflecting a mix of anticipation and respect. The air crackles with destiny as the elders approach, their movements deliberate and solemn. The elders of Judah approached David at Hebron and anointed him king over Israel. The narration echoes, sealing the moment in history. David stands resolute, his gaze sweeping over the ancient city of Hebron, now his capital. Sunlight illuminates the stone walls and vibrant marketplace, a city teeming with life and anticipation. Soldiers march in disciplined formation, their banners fluttering in the wind, symbols of David's burgeoning power. The people of Hebron watch with a mixture of hope and trepidation, their faces etched with the weight of history and the promise of a new era. Under the blazing sun, David stands tall, a figure of strength as his forces flood through Jerusalem's ancient gates. Dust swirls and settles, revealing the dawn of a new era in the heart of the ancient city. Jerusalem, now under David's command, stands as a beacon of hope and unity. The city transforms into the vibrant heart of a unified Israel, pulsating with newfound energy. A symbol of power and promise rises above the ancient skyline, marking the beginning of David's reign. Under the bright Jerusalem sun, David leads a grand procession, the Ark of the Covenant held high as it enters the city. The streets pulse with life as jubilant crowds line the path, their faces alight with faith and celebration. A new religious center is born amidst cheers and fervent hopes, marking a pivotal moment in their history. The air vibrates with the energy of a people united, their voices rising in songs of praise and thanksgiving. Sunlight floods David's palace, illuminating the fine dust dancing in the air as the king paces, lost in thought. I desire to build a temple, a glorious house for the Lord, David proclaims, his voice resonating with ambition. A divine voice echoes through his mind. Your son, Solomon, shall build the temple. You have fought many battles and shed much blood, therefore you cannot build it. The voice booms, filling David with solemn understanding. Sunlight floods through the towering palace windows, casting long shadows across the opulent throne room. Upon the grand throne sits David, his presence commanding. Every inch the regal ruler surveying his kingdom, a palpable sense of strength emanates from him, his gaze sweeping over the land he protects. The very air seems charged with anticipation, a silent promise of a new era dawning under his reign. His strong, steady presence reassures all who look upon him. A new era of peace and prosperity begins. On the battlefield, David leads the Israelite army, his sword gleaming like a beacon of hope. The Israelite army surges forward, a tide of righteous fury crashing against their enemies. With each hard-won step, the borders of Israel expand, secured by courage and steel. The sun glints off their armor, casting a triumphant glow as they secure their victory. Inside David's opulent palace, torches flicker, casting dancing shadows that stretch across the luxurious chamber. David, the king, stands tall and regal, framed by a vast window overlooking his sprawling city. His gaze sweeps over the landscape, a silent assessment of his dominion under the cloak of night. His eyes narrow, focusing on a distant rooftop, a point of interest amidst the sea of darkened buildings. A flicker of contemplation crosses his face, hinting at the weighty decisions and solitary burdens of a king. Flickering torches cast dancing shadows across the opulent chamber of David's palace, where secrets and power reside. David, a powerful king, sits alone, his face etched with restlessness in the dimly lit hall. A royal guard enters, his movements precise, and bows low before the king, a silent exchange of respect and duty. With a subtle nod, David dismisses the guard, the weight of his solitude returning as the heavy doors close. Bathsheba appears, her entrance hesitant, drawing all eyes in the vast chamber. David rises, his gaze fixed on Bathsheba, a silent storm brewing within his piercing eyes. Golden sunlight floods David's opulent palace, highlighting his regal unease. David, the king, paces restlessly, a storm brewing behind his eyes. News of Bathsheba's pregnancy hangs heavy in the air, casting a shadow over the gilded surroundings. A tempest of conflicting emotions, fear, guilt, and desperation twists his features. Swords clash, and men roar across the battlefield as King David surveys the brutal scene. His face, a mask of grim determination, reveals the heavy burden of command. David's sharp voice cuts through the din, a command aimed at his general, Joab. Place Uriah on the front lines, where the fighting is fiercest, he orders, sealing a dark fate. Under a merciless sun, the desolate battlefield roils with conflict, each clash of steel echoing amidst the dust and cries. A brutal blow finds its mark, and Uriah crumples to the blood-soaked earth, his fall swallowed by the relentless war. His body lies still, a stark silhouette against the chaotic backdrop of clashing soldiers and desperate struggles. The battlefield remains indifferent, the sun beating down on friend and foe alike, as life ebbs away unnoticed in the carnage. Sunlight floods David's opulent palace as Nathan, a stern prophet, confronts the king upon his throne. Nathan's eyes burn with righteous anger as he begins his parable. Hear me, O king. There were two men in a certain city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds. Nathan continues, his voice echoing through the grand hall. Nathan recounts, but the poor man had nothing, save one little ewe lamb, and was unto him as a daughter. The tension thickens as Nathan concludes, but took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. Sunlight floods David's palace, motes of dust swirling in golden rays. David kneels, his head bowed in profound remorse. The weight of guilt, a tangible burden. His hands clench into fists, knuckles bone white against the rich fabric of his robes. The air hangs heavy with unspoken sin, a suffocating presence in the opulent chamber. A whisper escapes his lips, a confession of deep regret. I have sinned greatly against the Lord. His voice cracks with emotion as he acknowledges the constant torment. My guilt is ever before me. Sunlight floods into David's opulent palace, illuminating the chamber with a divine glow. David kneels, head bowed in solemn reverence, before an unseen presence. A heavy silence blankets the room, amplifying the weight of David's penitence. A voice echoes from the heavens, both forgiving and foreboding. I forgive you, David. Your repentance is accepted. The divine pronouncement carries a chilling decree. However, your sin carries a weight. The child born of this union, he will not live. In the heart of David's palace, a pall of sorrow hangs heavy as Bathsheba's son lies still, his small form pale and motionless. David kneels beside the child's bed, his face a canvas of etched sorrow, the weight of grief pressing upon him. With a trembling hand, David reaches out, his fingers gently caressing the child's hair in a tender, heartbreaking gesture. The air is thick with unspoken pain, a suffocating silence enveloping the room as David grapples with his profound loss. Sunlight floods into David's opulent palace, casting a golden glow upon the weary king. David gently consoles Bathsheba, his voice a soft murmur against the backdrop of royal grandeur. Bathsheba looks at David, a flicker of fragile hope igniting in her eyes. In this moment of quiet solace, a new life begins. Solomon is conceived, a promise of future peace and wisdom, taking root in the heart of the palace. Under the relentless sun, King David stands wearily atop Jerusalem's ramparts, his silhouette stark against the bustling city below. The sun beats down, mirroring the inner turmoil as whispers of Absalom's growing influence fill the air. Unseen by the oblivious city, Adonijah's ambition simmers, threatening to ignite the kingdom. David's gaze sweeps over Jerusalem, a heavy cloak of worry settling upon him amidst the brewing storm. The weight of the crown presses down as the heat of rebellion rises within his own family. Under a merciless sun, a desolate battlefield sprawls, a grim testament to war with broken weapons and fallen soldiers scattered across the blood-soaked ground. Absalom lies still, a spear protruding from his chest, his rebellion silenced forever in the stillness of death. The sounds of battle fade into an eerie silence, broken only by the distant cries of crows circling above. News of Absalom's death travels to David, each word a dagger twisting in his heart. Despite Absalom's betrayal, David is consumed by an inconsolable grief, his face a mask of anguish. David's anguished voice echoes across the desolate landscape. Absalom, my son, my son! Would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son! Inside David's grand palace, shadows dance as Adonijah makes a bold grab for power. Tension fills the air as the palace prepares for a dramatic shift in leadership. David, with unwavering resolve, orchestrates a powerful countermove. The atmosphere shifts, heavy with the weight of royal decree and impending change. Solomon is crowned king, his ascension marking a new era under David's watchful gaze. Sunlight floods David's palace, illuminating the solemn scene as dust motes swirl in the golden rays. David, his face etched with weariness yet resolute, gestures towards Solomon, who stands attentive and ready. Solomon, my son. The vision is clear, David proclaims, his voice resonating with the weight of his conviction. The temple must be glorious, a testament to our faith. Scrolls detailing the temple plans lie spread across the table, promising grandeur and divine purpose. These scrolls contain the details, the measurements, the materials, everything you need, David says. And remember, David adds with solemn gravity, the laws of Israel must be upheld. Justice, righteousness, and compassion must guide our people. Sorrow permeates the grand hall as David, the once mighty king, lies still on his deathbed, his golden reign nearing its end. Grief-stricken family and loyal subjects gather, their faces etched with the pain of loss. A solemn procession winds through the ancient streets of Jerusalem, a somber tribute to the fallen king. David's tomb stands as a final testament to his enduring legacy, a monument to the golden age he ushered in for Israel. Under the radiant Jerusalem sun, a new era dawns as Solomon ascends to the throne. The air crackles with anticipation, the city's ancient stones bearing witness to history in the making. Robed in regal finery, Solomon stands tall, his countenance reflecting both solemnity and unwavering resolve. The cheers of the adoring crowd rise like a symphony, echoing through the hallowed streets of Jerusalem. A new king is crowned, his reign promising to usher in an age of unprecedented prosperity and wisdom for Israel. The valley of Elah basks in the golden light of day, a serene vista of rolling hills and tranquil meadows. Sunlight dances across the valley, once a battlefield, now a haven of peace and quiet reflection. Gentle breezes whisper through the tall grasses, carrying the scent of wildflowers and the echoes of history. The landscape is dotted with ancient olive trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens like silent witnesses. A sense of profound stillness permeates the air, a reminder of the valley's transformation from conflict to tranquility. The Valley of Elah stands as a timeless testament to remembrance and the enduring power of peace. Under the vast, sun-drenched sky of the Valley of Elah, a lone shepherd boy stands, a small figure against the immense landscape. Silhouetted against the golden light, he watches over his flock, his presence a quiet echo of ancient stories. Peace reigns in the valley, the distant bleating of sheep the only sound. The timeless tableau unfolds, hinting at destiny and the legendary tale of David. Wind sighs through the Valley of Elah, the air alive with ancient echoes. Sunlight dapples the valley floor, where legend whispers of David and Goliath. The grass sways, each blade a silent witness to a timeless battle. A lone hawk circles overhead, the valley spread out beneath its keen eyes, holding secrets of courage and destiny. The sun begins its descent, painting the Valley of Elah in hues of gold and amber. Long shadows stretch across the valley floor, transforming the familiar landscape into a tapestry of light and darkness. A gentle breeze whispers through the tall grasses, carrying with it the scent of dry earth and distant fields. The air cools as twilight approaches, promising a night filled with stars. A lone bird circles overhead, its silhouette stark against the fiery sky. The valley holds its breath, poised between day's end and the mysteries of the night. Under the vast sky of the Valley of Elah, a weathered stone monument stands tall, etched with the echoes of an ancient battle. Sunlight casts long shadows across the valley, highlighting the rough texture of the stone. A silent sentinel of history, the monument rises starkly against the horizon, bearing witness to David's legendary triumph. Whispers of wind carry tales of courage and destiny through the valley. The stone radiates a sense of timelessness, its presence commanding respect and awe. The valley remains hushed, the monument a steadfast reminder of the battle fought and won long ago. Under the vast sky of the Valley of Elah, tiny figures wander, dwarfed by the immensity of the rolling hills. Sunlight bathes the ancient stones of a weathered monument, a silent sentinel commemorating the legendary battle. Visitors pause, their shadows stretching long in the afternoon sun, drawn to the palpable history etched in the stone. Fingers trace the rough-hewn surface, connecting with the echoes of a timeless story. Lost in thought, they reflect on the courage of David and the fall of Goliath, the valley resonating with the weight of ages. Under the vast expanse of the Valley of Elah, sunlight bathes the ancient land in a golden glow. Whispers of legends echo through the valley, carrying tales of courage and faith across the ages. A timeless story begins to unfold, etched into the very stones and shadows of this historic place. The stage is set for a battle of epic proportions, where the fate of a nation hangs in the balance. Under the vast sky, the Valley of Elah stretches out, bathed in the warm light of day. Sunlight dances across the landscape, illuminating the rolling hills and the ancient earth. The valley stands as a timeless testament to courage, its very air resonating with stories of faith. Here, the echoes of a legendary battle linger, a reminder of the triumph of good over evil. The gentle breeze whispers through the valley, carrying tales of bravery and unwavering belief. The Valley of Elah remains a beacon of hope, where the spirit of valor endures through the ages. The Valley of Elah basks in the golden light of day, a silent witness to history. Sunlight warms the rolling hills, where echoes of courage and faith linger in the air. A gentle breeze whispers through the valley, carrying tales of a young shepherd's bravery. The landscape stands as a living monument, the memory of David etched into every stone and stream. In the hearts of the people, David's legacy endures, a beacon of hope and inspiration. The Valley of Elah unfolds under the caress of golden sunlight, its rugged beauty steeped in ancient lore. Rolling hills meet rocky terrain, a landscape echoing with tales of courage and defiance. Here, history whispers on the wind, the echoes of a legendary battle resonating through time. Sunlight illuminates the very ground where David faced Goliath, a testament to unwavering resolve. The valley stands as a silent witness, its stones bearing the weight of a timeless struggle. In this place, the spirit of overcoming giants lingers, a beacon of hope against daunting odds. The Valley of Elah unfolds under the warm sun, an idyllic scene of tranquility and pastoral beauty. Gentle breezes stir through the tall grasses, whispering secrets across the ancient land. Sunlight dapples the rolling hills, casting long shadows that dance with the wind. The valley stands as a silent witness, a place where the magnitude of potential belies its peaceful exterior. Even in this tranquil setting, the air is charged with an unspoken anticipation, a testament to the extraordinary events that will unfold. Bathed in the warmth of the sun, the Valley of Elah unfolds in serene beauty, a deceptive tranquility hanging in the air. Golden light drapes the landscape, casting long shadows that hint at the looming conflict. The peaceful scene belies the tension that simmers beneath the surface, a silent prelude to an epic confrontation. The valley waits, unaware it is soon to be the stage for David and Goliath, a timeless tale of faith and courage. Bathed in the golden light of day, the Valley of Elah unfolds, a scene of serene beauty. Sunlight dapples the valley floor, creating an idyllic landscape that inspires awe. The air is still. The valley holds its breath, a sanctuary untouched by the world's turmoil. In its tranquil embrace, the Valley of Elah offers solace and a renewed sense of wonder. Under the relentless sun, the Valley of Elah stretches, a parched canvas where legends are etched. Long shadows dance across the arid ground, whispering tales of courage and faith. The air shimmers with heat, carrying echoes of a timeless battle about to unfold. In this desolate expanse, the story of David and Goliath prepares to come alive. The Valley of Elah stretches out, vast and silent under the sunday. Its expanse serves as a powerful testament to divine possibility. Whispers of ancient battles linger in the air. Every stone and shadow speaks of potential and faith. The scene is a canvas where miracles seem not only possible, but destined. The Valley of Elah lies bathed in the sun's golden embrace, a silent witness to legends. Here, in this sun-drenched valley, the tale of David and Goliath echoes through the ages, a place where the underdog's triumph is etched into the very stones. The warm sun casts long shadows, a reminder of the giant that once stood here. Bathed in the sun's golden light, the Valley of Elah unfolds as a serene tableau. Tall grasses sway in the gentle breeze, whispering tales of ancient battles and forgotten valor. The air is thick with the echoes of courage and faith, resonating through the ages. A place of quiet contemplation, the valley invites reflection on the deeper meanings of bravery. Sunlight dances on the horizon, painting the landscape with hues of peace and solemnity. The valley stands as a timeless testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. The Valley of Elah lies peaceful, bathed in the golden light of a warm Sunday. The landscape evokes ancient strength, a silent testament to the timeless tale of David and Goliath. The very air seems to hum with inspiration, a reminder of courage against overwhelming odds. The valley stands as a beacon, offering solace and resolve to those facing their own giants. Sunlight bathes the Valley of Elah, a tranquil expanse under the vast sky. The serene landscape whispers of a divine presence, a silent promise of unwavering support. Golden light dances across the valley, evoking a sense of peace before the storm. The air is still, holding the breath of anticipation as the sun climbs higher. Nature's grandeur unfolds, a subtle reminder that even giants can be faced with faith. The sun blazes upon the Valley of Elah, its harsh light baking the dry earth. Long shadows stretch across the battlefield, silent witnesses to the impending conflict. Dust devils dance in the distance, mirroring the turmoil in the hearts of men. The air hangs heavy, thick with the unspoken dread of war. A stillness blankets the valley, a deceptive calm before the storm. The Valley of Elah awaits its destiny, a stage set for the timeless tale of courage and faith. Under the vast, sun-drenched sky, the Valley of Elah unfolds in serene beauty. Wildflowers dot the landscape, their vibrant colors painting a peaceful tableau as the wind whispers through. The air is still, pregnant with the echoes of ancient stories and forgotten battles. The distant murmur of a gentle breeze carries the scent of blossoms, a soft sigh across the valley. Sunlight bathes the earth, casting long shadows that dance with the ghosts of David and Goliath. A timeless hush settles over the scene, as if the very stones remember the clash of courage and fate. The Valley of Elah unfolds under the caress of golden sunlight, a vision of rugged beauty and silent strength. Rolling hills stretch towards the horizon, each contour whispering tales of ancient battles and enduring hope. The very air hums with a sense of timelessness, as if the land itself remembers the legendary clash of David and Goliath. In this valley, the story lives on, a beacon of courage and the promise of a brighter future. The Valley of Elah unfolds, a vast expanse touched by the sun's golden embrace. Sunlight bathes the landscape, casting long shadows that dance with the breeze. The scene whispers of faith and determination, a visual testament to overcoming any obstacle. The golden light paints the valley in hues of hope and resilience. Each blade of grass seems to stand a little taller, imbued with the spirit of perseverance. Sunlight floods the Valley of Elah, painting the rolling hills in hues of gold and green. Long shadows stretch across the landscape, hinting at the legendary battle to come. The air is still expectant, as if holding its breath for the clash of titans. This valley, a stage set for courage and destiny, awaits its players. The scene is imbued with the promise of the epic showdown between David and Goliath. The Valley of Elah stretches wide, a peaceful haven beneath an endless sky, a destination for wanderers, a refuge for those seeking wisdom and solace. The air vibrates with a subtle energy, a silent invitation to explore. Even the ancient stones whisper forgotten tales, waiting to be rediscovered. The Valley of Elah basks in the golden sunlight, ancient hills rolling under a vast, cloudless sky. Long shadows stretch across the valley floor. An eerie stillness hangs heavy in the air, pregnant with anticipation. The weathered landscape stands silent, an age-old witness to conflicts past and the drama about to unfold. A palpable tension grips the scene, the calm before the storm as destinies converge. The valley awaits, poised on the brink of legend, where the tale of David and Goliath will be etched into the stones. Under the expansive sky, the Valley of Elah unfolds, a tableau of faith and destiny. Sunlight bathes the valley, casting long shadows that dance across the ancient land. The air is still, holding the silence of centuries and the echoes of battles fought. Grasses sway gently, whispering tales of courage and sacrifice. The very earth breathes with the weight of history, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. The valley awaits, a stage set for the next act in its timeless story. The sun blazes over the Valley of Elah, its harsh light painting the dry, rocky landscape in stark relief. Long shadows stretch across the parched earth, whispering tales of ancient battles and looming destinies. A palpable sense of anticipation hangs in the air, as heavy as the heat shimmering above the valley floor. The very stones seem to murmur the legend of David and Goliath, an enduring testament to divine love and mercy. The Valley of Elah stretches out, a tapestry of green meadows and rolling hills under a vast, sun-drenched sky. Sunlight pours over the landscape, shadows playing with the gentle breeze, as nature whispers a promise of peace. The valley breathes, a sanctuary of healing, where the wounded find solace in the quietude. A tranquil vista unfolds, promising respite and renewal In the embrace of nature's beauty, the air is still, carrying the scent of wildflowers and the soft murmur of the wind through the tall grass. The Valley of Elah stands as a vibrant tableau, a place where the spirit finds restoration and the heart discovers peace. The Valley of Elah lies shimmering under the relentless Judean sun, its harsh beauty stretching to the horizon. A stark landscape of unforgiving terrain, where shadows dance in the heat, hinting at stories of old. Dust devils swirl across the barren ground, as if whispering ancient legends of battles fought and won. The fierce light beats down on the valley, testing the resolve of all who dare to tread upon it. In this crucible of earth and sky, the stage is set for a timeless tale of courage against all odds. Here, light and darkness clash, echoing the legendary battle between David and Goliath, a symbol of unwavering hope. Under the vast sky, the Valley of Elah unfolds, a silent stage where destinies converge. Sunlight bathes the ancient stones, each telling a story of battles fought and legends born. The valley stretches, a reminder of the intricate threads connecting every life. A landscape of quiet grandeur, where every shadow and stone whispers of a larger, interwoven narrative. Under the relentless sun, the Valley of Elah bakes, its vast expanse a silent stage for impending conflict. Long shadows stretch across the battlefield as the Israelite and Philistine armies stand poised, a charged stillness hanging in the air. Anticipation electrifies the atmosphere, a palpable tension before the storm. The valley awaits the unfolding of a legendary tale, where courage and community will defy the odds. Under the radiant sun, the Valley of Elah unfolds, a picturesque scene of verdant beauty. Golden light kisses the rolling hills, promising a future filled with hope and endless possibilities. A sweeping panorama captures the vast expanse, where history and destiny intertwine. The valley stands as a silent witness, its fertile lands whispering tales of inspiration across generations. Under the vast, sun-drenched sky of the Valley of Elah, a timeless narrative begins to unfold. Whispers of faith echo through the valley, setting the stage for an epic confrontation. Courage takes root in the heart of the unlikely hero, David. An atmosphere of anticipation hangs heavy, the air thick with the promise of triumph. The Valley of Elah becomes the arena for a story of bravery that will resonate through the ages.